Good morning. Today I'm going to do my first ever haul from the Miami Zine Fair, which I went to last weekend, yesterday. So, first thing I'm going to show that I got is this awesome poster, and what it contains on it and why I kind of kept it, aside from the cool design here, is it has all of the names of all of the people who participated. And so I did not get a chance to talk to everyone there because I was too busy running my table and I didn't have enough help. And so I'm going to go and I'm going to look up all of these people on Instagram and I'm going to see what they're doing and what they're making. And, it's a giant resource all in one place of everyone who was there, which is great. They're all local artists or, at least willing to come to Miami. The next thing which I got was these two hats. Show you here. I saw them before the fair even started and I was like, whoa, my girlfriend is gonna love this. I gotta get it for her, and then I got myself one. They were pretty expensive. I think they were $40 for both of them and $25 for one. So I'm gonna come back to that in a little bit. The next thing that I got are all zines, all of which I kind of got for free, which is really great. I got this really great zine on noses. I'll show you here. In exchange for the fact that I will be doing a review on it in a little bit. And so you'll see that coming. Just people talking about noses and writing about noses, and I just thought there's such a huge sense of humor in it. And that was by one of the local students here in Miami. And then this is Professor. She wrote a little zine that is really great. I feel like you can't even see it. So I'll be doing a review of that as well. I got this other zine here, which is pretty great. And I'll be doing probably a deeper review of this as well. And then I traded one of my books for this zine by the organizer of the event, Amanda Keeley. I haven't really had a chance to look through it, but it seems really dope. It's about like dancing and bookmaking, like the motion combined. Again, I gotta give it a deeper look. And then I had a really amazing talk for a while with someone who makes these little pockets that you stick inside of like notebooks. And I have been a journaler every day for about over 10 years now. And so we had like a really good talk about journaling, and I went and showed her my journal and we talked all about it. And again, I got it as a gift for my girlfriend, because she just started journaling like this month, and she started journaling because she wants to use stickers because she loves stickers. And so I wanted to give her a little pocket to put her stickers in. And I picked the one with the donuts on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to give that one to her or to me, because we have this inside thing where we love donuts. Because last year when we went to LA Book Fair, we really, really, really wanted donuts. And then we went to trekking across all of LA with our luggage right before the plane ride trying to get donuts. And then we didn't get the donuts. And then I was so angry. I wrote a poem about it and it was immortalized. And it's the first page in my book, Cheese Balls, The New Chic. Where I just completely lambast King Donuts for not being open when they advertised. And so I want to talk a little bit about the zine experience and what it's like to be a vendor at a book fair or a zine fair, especially because I have another one. I'm leaving for LA in 3 days. And so why am I doing these things? What is the benefit? What are the drawbacks? what can you learn about from my experiences. And I think it's important to say that I did not buy any books there, which is kind of like a taboo thing. Usually, it's one of the only times when I haven't really bought books at a fair. And it has nothing to say about the quality of the work there. The quality was great. The people were great. I just personally didn't connect with a lot of the work, which is fine. And it has nothing to do with the quality of what they're doing. It just, the mood that I was in and the taste that I was feeling, I just wasn't, I wasn't feeling it. And personally, I haven't been reading a lot outside of my practice. I read like 400 books last year for my business alone, and then I have my own writing and my own reading, and I just haven't been reading as much as I wanted to. And I thought that zines would be like a good way for me to digest things, and like, because they're so small, you can read a lot of them. But I did read a couple of them there, but I didn't always feel like I should keep them. And then a couple of ones that I saw, like there's a lot of things with, like anarchist zines and down with consumerism, which I totally jive with, but also like I'm a career business artist, and I don't really want someone telling me that like I shouldn't be trying to make a living from my art, which is not what they're saying, but like I don't know, man. I just don't need to take business advice from someone who can't afford to buy books. Just throwing that out there. Like, but I also I get it. Like, I mean, my business evolved out of that radical left position as well. So, but what I did spend money on is I spent money on non-book things. I spent money on these, which were $2 each, which are great, and I feel like I'm going to use it. If I don't, my girlfriend definitely will. And then these hats, which I also primarily got as a gift for my girlfriend. So I think that that's important to think about if you're tabling your own book fair. The people that sell house, like clear house and make money, are not necessarily the people that sell books at book fairs. And there's a reason why every time you go to a book fair, the people that do, like, there's more than just books there. And part of that's because you have to compete with books. And, like, if you go to a book fair and you're selling a book, there's 1,000 books at that book fair, and you have to compete with all the 1,000 other books. But also part of it is books are really, really hard to sell because you literally only have the cover and maybe someone to flip through, like a moment to flip through, while I'm kind of like awkwardly standing there at the other side of the table trying to like ignore you but answer your questions but desperately try to get you to make the sale. It's not the best scenario. Whereas like a t-shirt or a hat, it's immediate, it's instant, it's totally flat. And so it allows the people who want to read your book to, or rather the person who wants to buy that to instantly know that they like it. And so those are the people that always do really well at book fairs. And I think that if you are someone who, wants to go to a book fair, having options like that, having tote bags or shirts or pockets or anything like that, people buy them up non-stop. Now, I think that I made money. I haven't even like calculated the amount of money that I made, but if whatever I did make, I have to pay my authors too, and then I spent like $50 on these hats and those things, and then of course there's gas driving down there, and even if I made some money, I spent 2 whole days there, and I'm sure that my time comes out to like $1 an hour. So I would say that I've been talking to people, and I've been to book fairs all around the world. I've been to book fairs, in Philadelphia and Los Angeles and Dubai, and I've talked to people who've gone everywhere around the world, and nobody makes money at book fairs. And I think that that's not a conversation that happens enough. Why? And yet people continue to go to book fairs. Like I know that I'm going to lose probably at least $1,000 at this LA book fair that I'm going to, but I want to go anyway. And so what are the benefits that I'm gaining from them, and what are the things that I can really do better? And the art community as a whole can do better? Well, the first thing first is I've never heard of anyone traveling to a book fair and making money. I'm sure it happens, but I've never encountered, like, if you're going out of state and you got to book a hotel or you got to book a flight, I don't think you're going to make money. Um, the only people that I've ever heard of ever making money from a book fair, out of talking to hundreds of vendors, are people who do it within their own state. So, like, I live right outside of Miami. I went to the Miami Zine Fair. It made sense. I just had to drive there. Like, I had breakfast in my own home. You know, I drove there, and I returned home when I was done. So, going to local ones will make you a lot more profitable than, say, you know, I really want to go to the China Book Fair. I really, really want to go, but I know that I'm going to lose so much money doing it. Another thing is, where is the, like, location of the book fair? Even not necessarily in relation to you, but relation into its target demographic. And so this is something that I think is like a super controversial thing to talk about. But I think that it's not talked about enough. And I think that it's because you know, you have a lot of voices all on multiple points of the conversation. So, for example, if you have a book fair in a lower income area, which is a great thing because you get to introduce books to people that don't normally have that opportunity to go to museums or to go to see those things. It's a great thing that needs to happen, but know that you're not going to make any money at that fair if you participate, because the people that go there, like the people in that neighborhood, don't have the money to buy your book. They don't have the money to buy your art. And if you're like, you know, I'm selling books that are like $20. If you're selling a painting, you'll never sell the painting there. I mean, art is one of the few things where you will have people who will go all around the world to go and look at good art. So you will have people from higher income areas going there. But in general, the majority of the people that roll in are not going to be people that are going to afford or buy your book or buy your art. And that doesn't mean that it shouldn't still happen. Like, I think that these events are really important and they need to happen. And I think that, you know, opening up these spaces is really vital to a community. And I just think, you know, like I grew up kind of poor, and if I had ever seen an art book fair, I feel like it would have changed my whole life. Like I definitely became an artist anyway, but I would have felt so empowered just to see some artist succeeding ever when I was growing up. And I think that that's like, that, you know, it has the power to be life-changing. But I also think that, you know, if you're a business owner, if you're a professional artist, you need to know going into it that you're not going to make money. And I think that there needs to be more transparency on that front, talking about, you know, what can the art community do better as a whole to make it more accessible to communities that need access, and more accessible to artists and art institutions that want to participate but might not find it financially viable. Because then, you know, like, if it's not financially viable, then you're basically only getting the people that are getting like grant funding or like sponsorship funding, in which case it all goes back to, it's not really about the community at all. It's just about whatever really rich donors want. And I know that's like the most super like controversial thing that I'll probably ever talk about here. And I'm not really taking a stance, and I'm not really saying that the Miami Zine Fair was that or was not that. But it's just something that I have, having gone to lots of fairs and lots of like rich and poor areas, you know, it's different. You know, like when I did the, you know, art fair, like the art walk in Dubai, the average income of the person going to that fair and what they were willing to spend on a book was very different than at a smaller book one in Pennsylvania that like the one that I hosted or I helped host, that my girlfriend hosted in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I think that that's not talked about and seriously needs to be. So why do you go to book fairs? Well, the reason why is because to meet people, really. For me, it's so empowering and so amazing to go and meet people who like pick up my book and love it. And like that's like every time that I feel like down, I just think about, the last book fair I went to before this was the Philly Book Fair last year, and I had a woman pick up my book, A Month of Flowers, read it at my table, cry, and grab her friends, and I sold 5 copies. I sold out in 10 minutes. And for me, like, that's going to stick with me forever. Another thing, besides like meeting the people, getting feedback, seeing what sells, what doesn't sell, that's not to say that you should change what you make. Like, I make lots of books that aren't profitable, and I make some books that are profitable, but I believe that they should all exist, and I make art just for art's sake. But seeing what does well, like when people pick them up, what the feedback they give you on, is really important as well. And then the next one is meeting the people there who also vend, and the people that go and give opportunities. I woke up this morning to a direct message on Instagram saying that they want to interview me for a project on art and entrepreneurship. That's awesome, and I would love to participate. And that's all happens because I went to that fair. When I talked about here, the list of all the people that are on here, well, these are all people that care about what I'm doing, and I care about what they're doing. And for a world that is as lonely as it is to be an artist, to meet people and have real conversations about art and to have real potential collaboration experiences is so important. Just going out there and talking with your local community is so important. The first thing I did when I moved down here in Miami is I looked up what's the main art bookstore in this area, Exile Books. So I drove down there for an event and I introduced myself, and they said, "Oh, we have this fair coming up in April." Signed up that day. So, and then I met tons of people at this coming fair, and people talk about what does it mean to network as an artist and to get opportunities and to advance yourself, and it really is to put yourself out there and to do these things and to be genuine. Like, I think when people think about networking, they think about being fake or something like that, but like, you don't have to pretend that you like someone's art if you don't. But like, if you do jive with it, tell them, because artists need that support. Artists are like so very often emotionally weak, and just having someone say, "Yeah, I love this. This is really cool. Let me learn what you have to say about noses," really jives with someone, and it will make their whole day better, and it will make their life better, and it will make them keep making art. And I say, like, I always lose money every time I go to book fairs, but I always continue to go because I just have such positive experiences. I get to see, how the market is growing, how the market is changing, and I get to just talk with people who are struggling with the same thing that I'm doing. Some people are doing other things that are working, some people aren't. They're at different stages of their career. I'm at the point now where, like, I went to the Miami Zine Fair and I felt like one of the more established people at the fair, which is crazy because, 2 years ago, I was the least established person at the fair and I felt insecure about it. So I think that, I get to have conversations with people who are just starting and tell them, these are some of the mistakes that I've had, which is what I'm doing here with my YouTube, and then I get to meet with people who are further along and get advice from them. And I get to, sell and share my art and have a great time and, look at art. Like I love art. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment. I have a whole bunch of content coming up. I'm going to LA for their fair. Let me know if you want any specific type of content. I'll be covering these books in the future. Let me know if you like the haul idea. I try to do a haul and then like kind of build upon it and talk about the art community as a whole. And have a wonderful day. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Instagram at Lost Alphabet. Go to our website. Thank you so much.